Like the Red Octobers came out, and we had this kid, this dude at my school, bro, and like, you know, they were the real ones. They were real, bro.
They were real?
But nobody, they was real. They was real. I remember that he got them because they were, you know, in the dance community, they were the sneakers. If you had those Red Octobers, you was gliding and slipping and sliding, bro. Backflips, all that. And my bro was into dancing. So, you know, when he came to school, like, even when people checked the shit to confirm, they was like, nah, we not jacking. So I remember I pulled up to middle school, and like, for me, like they was all coming at my neck. They was like, bro, these is not real. Except for like the real right sneakerhead homies, they was like, nah, I got that shit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
How you got that, bro? Like, what?
What's good, everyone? Welcome back to My First Kicks. And this week, I bring to you the homie. Yo, the homie. Lifeofthom, bro. Welcome to the podcast, man.
It's good, Maji.
Yo, man. Yo, first of all, I don't know why I say yo like 3 times just now, but it's wild that, you know, you've pushed so much. Like, I remember seeing you first open for 99 Neighbors, and then from there, it was like, we just kept running into each other.
I remember that. It's like, bro, it's like everywhere in LES or like Brooklyn or in the city, every event.
Everything.
I'm like, yo, this guy. I was like, nah, I got to tune in with something. I gotta see what's happening.
Nah, man, yo, but look, you know, well, first of all, last year, dropped Cocotaso.
Yes, sir.
And you saw how much I fucking listened to it.
Facts. Nah, you blessed it.
Nah, yeah. It's wild to see, because like I'm always big on just finding artists and like listening to them as they like develop, and you know, you eventually you blow up, which is I see that in your future.
It's
but
the process.
But it's like my favorite thing is the New York music scene. So I always am always down to interview people that are just bubbling up. You know, the scene that you are like starting to foster as well with, you know, Lord Sco.
Yeah.
The rest, I forgot a lot of the
Wise
people. Right?
Boy,
yeah, Wise
Child.
Boy, yeah. A lot of the stimulated people. Shout out Dante.
Yoshi, shout out Dante.
Shout out Dante. Cisco.
Yeah.
You know, and I also feel like, you know, the recent, like, I guess I want to say like not resurgence, but like the way he's been pivoting, Marlon.
Oh my God, yeah, Marlon, man. He brought me and Sco out for his New Blue residency like this past like month or so, man. Yeah, he's dope, man. Seriously, one of the ones. Got cool vision for real.
Yeah, for real. His jazz residency, I wanted to do it. I'm gonna go to the last show.
The last
for sure.
one.
Yeah,
the last one.
Yeah. But you did the recent one, and that looks so dope.
No,
man.
it's dope, man. You go in, it's mad packed, mad just people, mad jazz musicians, and it's literally like a dope vibe. You lose yourself in there.
Yeah,
it's good. And you know New Blue too, known for like it's, you know.
No, I've never been.
Oh, whoa, bro. They got this Producer Mondays, man. Like you could run it. I ran into like Large Pro in there.
Oh, snap.
I ran into like some serious like OGs in the spot, bro. Fuck with New Blue. New Blue's tough.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, you about to have me at a lot more shows now.
Yep. Oh, yeah, man.
You know, but before we jump into that, let me ask you the question I ask everybody each week. And that question is, what's your first kicks? What's that first pair of sneakers you absolutely needed to have?
Wow. First kicks, first sneakers I absolutely need to have. And it can range from a kid to teen.
Yeah, whatever I always tell people, what is the best sneaker story that describes you?
Wow. Oh my gosh. It would have to be like when the threes, like when I wanted the threes, from my pops, like 2009. And like for me, like my family, like when we grew up, we couldn't, like my parents, like, you know, they was 2 regular working class people. You know, my pops, for me, un tigre from DR, and like my mom is like, you know what I mean, some shorty from the Bronx. And so like, you know, couldn't really afford.
Shout out moms, yo.
Yo, shout out moms, man.
Shout out Mama Tom.
Because
I don't know.
Mama Tom is the best mom Tom. Like she held it down for me as a kid. And like, you know, there was a point where I wanted those, you know what I mean? I wanted those threes badly, bro. But like, you know, growing
Black
up.
Cement?
Yeah. Growing up, yes. Come on. That's the stamp. And growing up, like, for me, we couldn't really afford like the kicks like that. Like there would be a Foot Locker right there on 181 chilling. So for me, I did everything, bro. I got the best grades. You know, my dad was the type of person, like, you only get what you want on Christmas and your birthday. Yeah. That's it. Done. Stop. Finish. And it was my birthday, and lo and behold, they was in there. And I think I got like Halo 2.
Damn.
Yeah, I was at
Wow.
it.
You was out there being a Master Chief.
Yes, sir. Yo, bro, what, man? That first Xbox to me was married.
Oh man. I mean, that's wild. Where did you originally grow up? Like you was uptown?
In the Heights.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Washington Heights, bro. 183rd, 184 between there and Broadway.
That's a lot of cultures in those blocks, man.
Bro, should be intersecting crazy, bro. What?
And so like, what was it like when you first like pulled up with them? What was
my God. Everybody thought they was fake. Everyone thought they was fake because it was like, yo, what? Like, it almost reminds me like when like the Red Octobers came out.
Yeah.
And we had this kid, this dude at my school, bro. And like, you know, they were the real ones. They were real, bro.
They were real?
But nobody, they was real. They was real. I remember that he got them because they were, you know, in the dance community, they were the sneakers. If you had those Red Octobers, you was gliding and slipping and sliding, bro. Backflips, all that. And my bro was into dancing. So, you know, when he came to school, like, even when people checked the shit to confirm, they was like, nah, we not jacking. So I remember I pulled up to middle school and like, for me, like they was all coming at my neck.
Oh,
they was like, bro, these is not real. Except for like the real right sneakerhead homies, it was like, nah, I got that shit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
How you got that, bro? Like, what? Like, for me,
let me get him.
Bro. Shit, man, if I ain't moved right, somebody would have got him.
Yeah, for sure. That shit, I mean, Red October was a movie. I think that, I mean, well, it was a movie if you got him.
Yeah.
That Twitter link shit pissed me off, man.
And I think Tumblr too, when they had him in
really?
Bro, what? Because there were all these subreddit pages, there was all these sub pages, you know, from Reddit to like Tumblr, Twitter, you know, that had like, you know, the culture of the sneakerheads, you know, hunting them down and shit.
Yeah.
And like, I remember just like being in school, like there were like maybe a few rare, or like a good two, man. And like, those were the dudes that like, they gave me the go.
They gave you the go.
Yeah.
That shit, I mean, look, that shit was crazy. I remember I had 3 laptops open.
Wow.
The link dropped. And I had 3 laptops open, and I was trying so hard. Like, yeah, yo, I was looking like I was in the fucking Matrix trying to get
6 hands, 6 arms.
I was like, no. It was like trying to check out. Nope. Trying to check out. Nope. Trying to check out. Then I had my phone out. I was like trying to check out.
He was passionate about it.
Man, I was trying to get him.
Nah, that's fire, bro. That's fire. That's crazy. 3 laptops?
3 laptops, bro.
Bro, wow.
3 laptops. That's
crazy.
It was ridiculous. I wish.
I feel like people still do that now.
Yeah.
They might add like 6.
You ever seen that? There was like a video on the internet where it's like a guy and it's like a guy in like the streets of like, I don't know, Thailand or something like that. He's on a bike, and the bike got like 40 different
That's crazy.
phones
That's
on
crazy.
it. And people will always be like, me on the sneakers app.
That's crazy. Nah, hey, that dude's winning. He definitely snagging something.
He's getting that Bitcoin.
Nah,
he's definitely getting that Bitcoin.
He's definitely getting that coin for sure. For sure. Yeah.
I mean, so one thing I definitely want to touch on, especially as we get deeper into this, was just like, you know, our connection is Audi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo. My God. Audis, bro.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the dude. That's the dude.
I wanted to know more of like his influence on you.
Well, like Audi, like, bro, like I grew up with Audi. You know what I mean? Like and it's so dope. Y'all know each other because that's my mom's best friend from like art and design.
Yeah.
So it was so cool. And it's like my mom, like, you know, like she had like cool different footprints with like different, you know, rappers and, you know, just different fashion heads, you know what I mean? Like, you know, back when like, you know, Prodigy and Havoc was doing their thing, you know what I mean? She was like, you know what I mean? She was chilling with them, you know what I mean? She was telling me at one point, she like dated Havoc for like a very small sec.
That's
like,
crazy.
She has the picture at my crib, man. Like
I remember you told me that. And I was like, you ever think about it one day you could, I mean, there was a moment in time Havoc could have been your dad.
Bro, I remember when she told me that shit, I was like, I was in the bathroom like, I'm the shook one for real right now. Like, oh shit. Nah, man, Audis, bro, like him and my mom's, they was mad cool growing up. So like when I found out that like, you know, like it was, you know, he, you know what I mean, he was the connect here, you know, I was like, it's crazy. But yeah, Audi's always shown me love. And when he found out I was doing music for real, and he found out I fuck with the Lambs family, Stevie, Scotty, and he found out I fuck with Awake, man. And you know, he was peeping, you know, he's like, oh wow, you really you diving into your profession, man. He's just been there showing love. That's the and it was back random.
Right,
Random as fuck, bro. I forgot what it was, but him and my mom, they came to see me open up for Neighbors that day.
Yeah, that's I saw him on the line, and I was like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Oh, Lifeofthom, that's my best friend's son," and I was just like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yo, I was holding him as a baby, and now I'm about to watch him perform. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It's insane.
No, I mean, full circle, universal, man.
Audi, I've known Audi since 20.
Yeah, how you guys know each other?
Just Clubhouse. Like we became cool on Clubhouse, and then we met in real life. But like he's such an influential like back behind the streetwear.
He's smart.
Very
smart.
He's just like he's not outside.
He's a dot connector, bro.
Yeah, for sure. He's not like out. I'm talking about like he's not in front of the camera, but he's maneuvering everything that's in back of the camera.
He's like one of those guys that's like, you know what I mean? You put him with the right people, you give him the right thing to work, he gonna work it.
Yeah.
And like he know how to like do that and just stay right there. And he not you would never know. And that's so fire, like to know and be close to someone like that, man. Like shouts Audi, man.
No, yeah, shout. You still got to come on the podcast if you're watching this right now. Yo, stop playing.
Come on,
man. You supposed to be on here like 2 years ago.
Nah,
bro.
I give him a call. He gonna get on here.
Yeah. But if you're not familiar with Audi, like if you ever been to Scars or seen a picture of DJ Clark Kent, you would see Audi. Like he's the man.
Yes.
He's got stories for days.
For days.
He told me this. He was telling me like there was one thing we talked about one thing and it led to a story about how him and Clark Kent went to go do something. I was just like, this is crazy.
He was close with Clark Kent, then and like what I mean before the passing and shit.
Yeah.
He done like numerous like cool things with him and what I mean other DJs and shit. But he liked that. Yo, Audi's for me. He popped that shit like that, man. Like he know his shit.
Yeah. You touched on the Lamb stuff, and I'm so curious about the Lamb stuff. Like, I'm not familiar with it. I'm not familiar with the brand, but I definitely seen like, I think they're part of this like newer fabric of like getting in touch with like the younger generation of like who the people are out in the streets right now.
Yep.
Like Awake's doing the same thing. I had Jay Miles on. Like Jay Miles has been running with them for a little bit. And I think it's really dope because it's like everybody's always talking about like how do we pass on our passion onto the newer kids because everybody's always super confrontal and being like gatekeeping and all this stuff
holding this shit. I want to give certain gems passed down. I love Lambs, bro, for that one of those reasons. I was just over there right before this. I shot some tour promo, man, for this tour coming up. And
that was in the basement. That was that one. Yeah, I watched that video.
I was with Spirit, man. He held it down for me. We had it. For me, Stevie, bro. How I got into Lambs was through my boy Kaiser. That's my bro right now, man. He's going through a pretty crazy life challenging, changing thing right now, though. Like he's the soul heart pinnacle of like that whole entire, entity. And when I met Stevie and like Scotty, man, and that's the thing. I always saw like Lambs as like the cool boys club, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, early in the 2020s. And when I kind of started put the connect together, like they did this modernology, bro. That's a mix between, the OGs and the youth that's coming up through TikTok and like the digital age heavy. So it's really cool because you go in the shop and you're going like, run into like this crazy like fucking Newport like Nike collab, right? And then like
the Ari, the menthols? Yeah.
And then you gonna run into like some really dope like pieces by like Nigo like on the wall, but then you might run into some cool like Banksy like artwork that's maybe stashed, and then they got their like they got the vinyl section upstairs. Shout out Rotten Island Records, man. And then it's so many compartments. Got this joint upstairs, but that's what I love.
Me, I'm about to go right now. About to stop this podcast and
go right
now.
Like a marketer of your Lambs, but that's the Lamley. You know what I mean? And I always I fuck with that because we don't really got one of those so staple like that in the city, and they not even like they stamp, but like. They not even that many years, bro. Like out, like it's still fresh.
I'm trying to make a connection to like what maybe Fat Beats. Fat Beats was like that, maybe. Yeah, like it was like this intersection of hip hop, street culture, streetwear, sneakers. I mean, barely. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the backpack rappers took the sneakers away from that shit.
In a way, you know what I mean? You could always go into that conversation, but it's so cool to, still have something like, you know, that existed and, you know, feeding the people, you know what I mean? You know, you have random people coming into New York, you know, it's at least they get some taste of like some actual, you know, real culture and, you know, really see what it is face that way. Cause, you know, I mean, these people come in town, they don't, feel me, their perception is so fucking walked out the ass. So it's cool to have pillars like that.
Nah, I gotta go now. Yeah. If they paying homage like that, yo, I gotta go.
Those are peoples, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Cracking one for the...
Yo, you know what they say, drink water, man.
Drink water.
I've been moving all day, man, barely been hydrating. Don't be like me.
As Mick Jenkins said, drink water.
Shout out to Mick Jenkins.
Shout out. You know, so growing up in New York City, and
yes, sir.
You know, I'm a senior, I guess now. I'm Unc now.
You OG.
I'm OG now. So I want to know how does sneaker culture like translate towards you? Like how did you see it? How were you part of it? Man. Because I mean, like I said, we've had conversations and you know, you've been part of it.
Yeah. No, like I wasn't a crazy sneakerhead growing up. Like I wouldn't even consider myself a sneakerhead, but I love kicks, man. You know, like growing up, I wore a bunch of Vans. You know, I wore a bunch of Nikes. Shout out these Cortezes on the feet right now. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I had some Jordans. You know, not probably no more than like 3. Feel me? Shout out the Chicago's 3s I had the crib right now. You know what I mean? Like, feel me? Though it was one of those cultures that it kind of kept me still to the ground and it kept me still my ears and eyes to the street because before hip hop was like that full thing for me, which it always has been, kicks was always like that push. Yeah. Because all my bros in school, they like, it's just what it was. And like certain kicks may have connected to certain songs and certain themes that was going around and like certain fit styles. And I remember like if you was wearing the full Adidas tracksuit, you either had those Pumas on or you had like some pair of those fucking skate highs on or some off-white. I mean, some fucking G-Fazos. You know what I mean? Yeah, like some clean shit, bro. And, you know, for me, you know, like I go into it like, bro, like I said, like my family was not, my mom, pops was not bringing in the bacon. And I definitely is not like I was fucking hustling tree and selling all this shit, you know, through school, bro. Like I'm working fucking cafeteria, picking up the lunch and shit, bro. So it's like whatever little bread I did save through time, like I probably get, you know, something here and there. Though I think it was so cool to like see those influences of the sneakerheads kind of like evolve to like actually become like gatekeepers, you know, kind of for the culture and the waves, you know, moving through the city. And it'd always be so dope being close to those people and the proximity of it, you know. And then it made me want to be like, I want to get into, I want to know more of my culture more. I want to know more of the steez of the city, the fashion. And you know what I mean? Like, bro, I got Rockaway on, yo, top, bottom, you know what I mean? And like that only comes from just the years and amalgamation of seeing all these different kicks on these different rappers, especially wearing fits like these. And most times they probably putting some butters on, but you might have a nigga like rocking some all whites on this shit. So for me, like it's definitely been like a cool, a dope thing that I think as I got older, I understood it was an importance for, especially for my generation, for us to have. Cause like sneakers became the bind between, you know, understanding like classic New York hip hop sound and also like the, you know, the next scale in the landscape of things. So that's, you know, and that'll never leave.
Nah, for sure.
Never.
I'm always curious because like whenever I listen to your music, you know, I feel like you're painting pictures. Yeah. And it's like, that's my favorite type of like hip hop. So
like I'm the best shit. Storytelling, bro.
Storytelling.
You know what I mean? Bumping Mos Def and Nas and listening to fucking like Ninth Wonder beats and you know what I mean, Talib and you know, Ye and like all these sick artists, bro. That shit always inspired me, especially like Big L too, man. And these is artists that would wear fly shit, fly sneakers. So yeah, it's all in the mix for me, man.
But like I was saying that because it's just like, where did you learn how to rap that way? That's the because I feel like maybe you've answered this before.
Yeah, but. No, it's a string of like honestly kind of just listening to hip hop so much as a kid, and like that's the thing because like also like took a different approach to things. You know, like I have my own sound, which is very established. You can clearly hear it, and it's you know it has its own methodology,
it's you,
and it's very refreshing. And it kind of took a point, you know, where I was bumping like. You know, because I got into this shit, you know, obviously through like all my mom's influences, and Biggie, you know, Ho for me. Listen,
she sat you down with Havoc.
Yeah, she sat me down with Havoc. Tell you that Prodigy. You know what I mean? Listen, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just all the GOATs, bro. And, you know, as I got older, it translated from like into like my freshman year where I was bumping like M so much. I was listening to Infinite every fucking day and Slim Shady LP every day. Damn near one point, dyed my hair blonde for Halloween, walked in that bitch, kept that shit on for like half of that school year, bro. So I had to take it off because my mom was ready to beat my ass. Though pretty much it was so cool.
I will say the way Eminem rapped on Infinite, I wish he would bring that back.
Oh, nah. My mom was ready to fucking kill me, bro. She was like, you need to stop this now, my child. And that shit inspired me. Like me and my bro, we would play Xbox, we play Black Ops, you know what I mean, zombies, and that'd be freestyling, and you know what I mean. And I remember the exact chain of event, how it happened. Well, actually, no, I don't. But I do remember us like bumping J Electronica, Exhibit C, and I remember around that time frame, like I wrote some raps. I showed it to my son. He was way better than me. He was like, bro, you should become a rapper. And I said, huh? What's that? Like, how you do that? Like, what's a studio like? You know what I mean? Like, bro, what? Like, first time I want to record, I didn't know what a studio was. I just thought like you just gotta go to a mic and talk into it, and something happens. And there you know?
Go.
Feel me?
No beat, no nothing, no lyrics.
But I was, you know, once I got into more from my mom's influences, you know, especially like, you know, all this shit with like, listen, you know, everything I was just telling you, feel me? I started just writing shit. And then I easily got into like Joey Badass, you know, Beast Coast, you know, Capital Steez, Underachievers, you know, Dizzy Wright, the Hobsons of the time, you know what I mean? Like fucking Mick Jenkins, I could go down the fucking wall. Nipsey, though, I for me, it was like, I was so inspired by people speaking their truth and actually having a purpose and, you know, an impact and knowing that they matter and putting that in their songs. You know, I'd bike Riverside, bro, all the time, studying bar structure without even knowing bar structure. Bro, fucking Joey Badass asked me to spit him, 10 bars? And I was like, 15, 14. Bro, I just kept rapping until he told me to stop. I'm pretty sure I went over 10 bars. Like, yeah, I mean, but, you know,
flipping like,
bro,
entendres and shit.
Yo, I was trying to flip entendres, similes, metaphors. I was probably sounding like a different language, respectfully. Though
he was like, yo, he caught the ghost.
Yo, bro, what? I mean, he showed me love that day, though. Like, it definitely, you know, that's kind of really how it started, man. It was an inspiration of, you know, the things I grew up influenced on, what I already knew and what I was putting my eyes to, and just kind of like the culture of, you know, really just being in school, going to school Midtown and shit like that, and just hearing different things. I was like, I fuck with this, and I know I want to do this, and I want to write. Rap.
I mean, yeah, because we talked about, when last time I saw you, we talked about like you just being like, no, I'm gun-ho on making sure I make this happen. And now you're about to be on your first like world, well, not world, but
national.
National. I always say world.
I mean, we got one international day. We got Canada.
There you go.
We got Vancouver.
Well,
so
that's gonna be the 51st state.
Of course. Right.
Yeah. But it, like, how does that, to go from thinking about that moment where you were rapping in front of Joey Badass to how much work you've put in? Because like, if you aren't following him, make sure you follow him, because you in the studio. I've never seen. I feel like
I'm a rat.
Yeah, like you. I feel like you got like a traveling airbed with you.
Oh yeah,
and then you just pop. You just like, all right, cool.
Nah, I live in the walls, bro. Like gangster, bro. Like it feels so not even surreal, because it's like when you do this for so long, man, you just know that like this is literally your profession and your job, and like you have to become a savage at the business. You got to become a savage in your creative. And I think like in a flash of an eye, kind of looking back, bro, it almost feels no different than when I started, bro. You know, there's just more shit going on.
Right. Yeah.
The love for it is still the same. The jumpiness for it is still the same. The hype for it is still the same. Did I see this year me going on a tour? For surely. Did I think it'd be with Lord Skull? Nah, like, you know what I mean? You know, did I think Lord Skull was announcing a tour? Nah, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of had the idea, though. It's like knowing, you know, what's brought me here and how I've got here. It makes full sense. You know what I mean, bro? I fucking you gotta like. This is sacrifice. It's a life. It's an infinite stream, bro. And it's a sequence. And touring is so essential, because you gotta like educate people about you. You know what I mean? I gotta go on that road. I gotta meet these new faces. I gotta get in those crowds, rub those shoulders, man. Leave that mark on these people, because goddamn, 2 years later from now, they gonna get to say, I got to see Lifeofthom for fucking $20, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm gonna get to be like 2 years later, holy shit. These people got to see me. And before that, I was thinking about these people going to see me. And now these people trying to sell tickets to see me at, you know what I mean? So it's just like so dope to see like how never stopping and never quitting and staying the course can bring you, bro. No, even when you think you there, you got to nudge. And you got to create a whole new world to show you that you're not really there.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. I cause like you've done the big cypher, you know, you produced that beat.
Yes, sir. Shouts on the radar, man.
Yeah. But like, how did that come about? I know you talked about it on that breakdown episode, but like, how did it come about to where you were close with the crew there?
Yeah.
And because On the Radar is everywhere now.
It's a staple, bro. No, I'll speak about it, man. Shouts Gate P, man. Shouts El Calvador. Shouts John, man. Shouts Rob. Those my brothers right there, man. You know, I've been knew about OTR for so long, and I remember my boy Iman Nunez kind of like giving me the nudge, like, yo, bro, like you should really go fuck with them. Like actually go see what's good. I actually met El Cal on a line for Kenny Mason listening at RCA with RCA at Kitsune, like about damn near almost 2 years ago. And
no invite?
Yeah, yo, yo, it was like,
you know how much I like Kenny Mason,
bro? It was so out of nowhere. Like I remember like it was one of those like you don't even have the address. Like somebody had to just miraculously tap you on the shoulder. And I remember like thinking, whoa, what is the fucking coincidence that like this motherfucker's right here? And I remember at that time, I really wanted to get in that circle, you know, fast forward damn near a year later, putting out all these records, you know, seeding everything, you know, keeping the market in my plan straight, feel me? You know, I ran it up, did the Christmas cypher, and then I think the more I just kept creating more value and incentive that made more sense for them to optimize as a company, you know what I mean? Because I'm you know, I'm just an artist. You know, I'm on the boots, I'm on the ground. I know, you know, I just know, you know, what's gonna for me and who should, you know what I mean?
There,
so I think like as time just continue to happen, Cal fucking, I built, you know, a dope close connect with my boy El Calvador, and he hit me up. And Gabe actually was the one I was just chilling there one day working, and he was like, bro, can you do a cypher this year? And I was like, sure. Like, fuck yeah, what? And then, you know, I got up with like a couple of different producers, you know, shouts LaRon, you know, shouts Fightback, you know, Jesus Rondon, a couple other dudes. And, you know what I mean? You know,
these are all New York cats?
These are all New York cats, you know what I mean? And, you know, these were all different sessions I was doing in, and right there, we got the beat, got it done, and the cypher happened. And was, you know, now, you know, more than that, I'm like, you know, I have an ear for them, you know what I mean? In a way, you could say like, you know, I help with A&R and over there, but like really, I'm just a fucking homie of the homies, and I just put my hand in when I can, and that's it, you know.
Listen, I don't like that fuck Juan Soto bar, but the rest of it was fire.
Yo, oh my God, bro. I remember when Son hit me the night before, like, yo, bro, should I really start it like this? I'm an instigator. So of course I said, fucking yes, what the fuck?
As a like, Mets fan?
Yo,
no.
You know, man, I'm a Yankees fan. But I love the Mets too. So I couldn't be so biased. Nah, it was a great cypher, man. So Child, one of my favorites out that cypher, Wise Boy Jeremy, Kai Cash, Shouts Ben Bill on that cypher, you know, Jordan too. A lot of great spitters on that shit, man. That shit was fire.
So like I'm always curious about the new bubbling like underground of the New York hip hop scene, right? Like I got my homies, like, I don't know if you know, like my homies like I grew up with are why can't I say his name? Jonathan Unitas.
Okay.
Joey.
Okay.
But they've been rapping at this like different area of underground hip hop in New York. Right. And then there was the whole beat scene that occurred. So I got my homies like Nothing New, you know, when Fresh Daily was here, Fresh Daily was doing the whole like beat house stuff and stuff like that. And then, you know, we've seen that like the rise of Arm & Hammer and the Backwoods people, you know, Backwoods sound, right? So what is the like the area that you're in? Like, cause I feel like, you know, the Lord Skull, the Yoshis.
I want to talk about this. Yeah. I feel like the ecosystem is kind of shaped now because of the environment. You know, like hip hop is kind of taking a new resurgence in the city. and just in general, you know, people want to hear more of that rap shit. But more, I think it's a little more than that rap shit. You just want to hear some real good shit, man.
Yeah.
Niggas want to feel that shit. They want to hear that fire beat, those fire bars, you know, good songs. And I think between, you know, guys like myself, Lord Sko, dudes like Nico Brim, you know what I mean? Dudes like Yoshi T, dudes like Cisco Swing, you know what I mean? Like Mike, you know what I mean? Like, and so on and so forth, you know.
I feel like Mike is in the Arm and Hammer.
He's
level.
He's like in a way, yeah, I could say that. But he still keeps like that reach, you know, to like he still has that freshness to him where it's like I could feel, you know, I could see like the translation.
So you saying you got a Mike feature on the next album?
Hey man, we praying to the hip hop guys, bro, to get me that one, bro. I put that shit on Twitter. That shit that blew up for like half a day, bro. That seen it too, man. I got the like, bro. TCX Mikey, some shit like that.
Oh, is it? I've been trying to find his Twitter.
His Twitter is like mad weird, bro. It's like his email and same shit, bro. But no. I feel like I'm definitely in this kind of like it's just this new space that's like influenced from all that. Even like the Beast Coast shit, bro. You know, the Griselda shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the Billy Wood shit, bro. Like, feel me? And what's so dope, it's refreshing. It's refreshing, it's new, and it's real. You know, there's literally like you can't fake the funk with this shit, bro. You either him or you not.
Right.
Simple. And it's so dope, you know. The way it's kind of creating its own grasp because like we haven't had a grip on something like that in a minute, bro.
Everybody's been saying that like New York does not have a sound.
Yo, that's the thing. The city, especially when you know, like, you know, mainstream rap, feel me, it's struggling, bro. Though it's figuring itself out, and I genuinely think if people come together and understand like this music it's on point, bro, and these people and you know these rappers, these producers, you know what I mean, they create a whole world build that is essentially putting the city back on its fucking pedestal so everything else fall in line. Right. You know what I mean? That's kind of low-key how I originally started. You know, it's just, well, New York is New York. And that's that. Yeah. You know, we be famous. One day we catch a trend, then run it, and then burn the shit out down the grounds. Or, you know, we might put eyes on the thing that's like, y'all, like,
I do feel like every 3 or 4 years is like another,
we be having a little that be our
Cash Cobain, I feel was like the last one.
Yo, and that's I fucking love what Cash did, bro. Like Cash been taking over, man. Like Slizzy's and them, like that's cool, bro. And
it's like, but yeah, there's like so much different identities and different layers of hip hop in New York that it's hard for people to be like, yeah, that's the New York sound.
And I feel like that's kind of why like dudes like like myself and all the homies I just named, and even others out of like even the Jersey influence, you know, Wise Boy Jeremy, Chris Patrick, you know what I mean, Soul Child, you know what I mean, you know, Justice Xavier, like, you know what I mean, these is all like artists like pushing the shit. You know, you got these niggas coming over here, you know, to rock the shows and hit the studio and shit, bro. So it's shifted. It's just like you got, you know, real niggas is back in style. You just gotta give it a sec. Yeah. Give it a sec. It's shifting, you know, and that's not even to be biased, you know, it's just kind of the nature of the sound and the scale, bro. It's just how it shifts through time. Yeah. It's history repeating itself all over again.
I mean, throughout this whole thing, I've been mentioning how hard you are at like pause. I've been mentioning how hardworking you are. Hardworking you are.
Thank you.
But like, where does that come from?
It stems from this valiant effort that I've built from knowing that have this vision that supersedes my time right now. And you know, at the end of it, I want to be one of the greats. I want to be one of the greatest of my generation. You know, I want to be known as somebody that was able to shift and mold things into a new standard, into a new platform, but more than that, to a new logistic and something more holistic that we can enjoy. And, you know, at the forefront of that it's not just like it's not just a thought. You know, it's something actually starting right now. It's just like, feel me, I, you know, am someone that, you know, it's like when it came to virality, not really like, you know, yeah, certain things pop off here and there, but it's like I never relied on that, bro. When it came to like, you know, even the deals and like deal points and like working with certain partners, bro, I never really relied on that. You know what I mean? Certain, you know how much humiliation you got to go through, bro, to be fucking sitting here right now talking about this shit, bro. Like, you know how much like, you know, 10,000 hours of fucking work, you know, and to really like be so confident, go in these buildings, go to like something like at Atlantic or like, you know, Columbia, you know, really sit there and speak to these A&Rs and these VPs and really tell them what's my vision and what I want. That literally stems from me knowing that at the end of the day, I can't depend on anything but me, you know, and that's not to come out in a negative way or trauma. It's just like, this is my dream. It's my vision. And I'm going to make sure I'm going to bring myself to the greatest value. So anything around me working that and wanting to add on to that to, you know, incline it success, you feel me? It's not like you're breaking your fucking back and you shouldn't have to, you know, unless you really like have to, bro. You know what I mean? And I am so inspired by my fucking purpose. You know what I mean? People always telling me they're so motivated, moved by my songs. Yeah. People always telling me, yo, sitting down, my bro, like your songs are so good. Yo, I was going to work today. Didn't want to go to work today, but this shit, yo, I was in the gym. It helped me get my last pump. Like that is my gratification. You know, my gratification don't lie in some fucking, you know, watches, Rolex chains, you know, 5 fits, strip clubs, none of that, bro. Deals, none of that. It lies in what I'm educating to the world, what I'm receiving back in this longevity and the haul and the journey that it takes to go there. And, you know, could sound like the shit's straight out of a fucking book, but it's like, it's real. Yeah. It's my life. And like, I've had to grind for everything brick by brick, like literally brick by brick. And because of that, it's kind of crystallized things for me in a way where they stay tight, very solidified. And that's the style I like. You know what I mean? When I look at the OGs, when I look at the top dogs, like they've built it ground by ground. And if, you know, and they didn't really have to skip steps. And if they did, that was God's time. And that was just the nature of what it was. So feel me? I think like the slow process, bro, is the sturdy process. You know what I mean? Sure. And it's not about being slow. It's just about being patient. You know, you don't wait for yours. You understand and you sit and you ready to be patiently there to strike and really make sure all you need is one fucking hit. Yeah. Literally. Just
somebody, I mean, because you talked, I mean, I saw recently you were like, you went from 200 streams to 200K.
Yo. And 200 month. So I was looking at my Spotify for artists. I don't really be looking at it often. But you know, when you rolling out these songs back to back, you kind of got to be on it, you know, looking at the data and shit. And I just peeped like, holy shit. Like, you know, we're damn near on our way to like hitting 100K on the monthlies, and that's sticking. It's sticking. It's not dropping. It's not going up and down. It's sticking. And I don't care about numbers, but the data shows it's working. And to me, that's fire because, you know, now I can like go on something like this tour and be like, oh, like those fucking 85,000 fans. Well, where the fuck y'all at? Pop out. Like, you know what I mean? And like we can interact on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. And to me, it's just like, wow, like, fuck yes. I fucking did that. You know what I mean? And dropping every month like this, bro, you know, increasing the visibility, the awareness, you know what I mean? Like, that's what gets you there, bro. Not just, for me, dropping a thing and not making it matter. You got to make it matter because you got to know you matter. You know what I mean? And all those things kind of just what was the sprinkle to just getting me here. You know what I mean? Like, but, yo, we on our way.
No, for sure. Like, one of my big things is just like fostering community. You know, you touched on it a little bit, but like, how do you view your community? How do you continuously try to, you know, be interactive with them to the point that they feel you and they like you feel them back?
Man, no, that shit is important. That's a good question, bro. Yeah, community is everything. Like my goal is, you know, to kind of like hit this thing so much from the inside out, bro, that like I feel like a real person of wealth is able to advocate, you know, like impact on others, you know, where it helps them change their life. You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, someone, you know, who thinks in that mindset can help create business ventures in other people's lives without even having to move a finger. You know what I mean? It's just that inspiration, you know, that exuberance, you know what I mean, of the result and the grind and the work and, you know what I mean, just putting your arm to it for me. And that's kind of what I want to do, man. Like, you know, I want to be able to, you know, do different producer camps. You know, I just did a workshop for an SAE Institute, right over by like 18th Street in the city, man. It's like small class, bro. It's like, you know, these students, man, and they they there to test recording me, through all through the board and the monitors.
Wow.
and
That's
they,
like
they
going
young,
to
and,
like
bro,
a barbershop, barbershop school.
Concept basically, you know what I mean? Like they gotta learn, how to fade it out, and trim it, feel me? And no, it was really nice because it inspired that community aspiration that I have. These people like from like damn near 18 to like 25 to like fucking almost 40, bro.
Yeah.
And they all asking these questions, and they it was so nice, and it made me realize like, wow, I want to be able to like open up some shit like that one day, bro. I want to be open to, feed the libraries and schools, throughout the nation one day, and just knowing that's like a continuation of my work within like just my statement, my mission, man. Like, I'm here. It's deeper than rap.
It is, for sure. Which is why I was going to say after that, now, how does the community around you help you? Because, you touched on Lambs a little bit, but
they want me to win.
But I mean, like the yes, I understand that part. But like how do they influence you? Like,
I think watching Lambs like do a fucking successful block party, bro, to celebrate the anniversary. Like, fuck yeah. I want to fucking shut down a block for a day and perform, put a stage, pack the whole shit out one day. Watching, even watching like Wise Boy going crazy, selling his cassettes and his vinyls, bro. Like, that shit is fire, bro. Like, I want to, keep doing that. You know what I mean? Watching the homies, like, feel me, like
Yoshi Jackson,
watching What More, bro, kind of like doing their thing, bro. Like it's fire because it's not a Brock, it's not a PE, it's not a fucking Flatbush. Yeah, I mean it's just dumb, and I'm someone. It's not that I'm so easily inspired. I'm just like just that electricity, bro. Like I be feeling that shit, son, and that shit be making me just want to keep going. You know what I mean? And it's not about It's understand like there's a trek to this shit, bro, and like we fake all falling in line, literally, and everyone is just having all these great things happening for them. So it's like, holy fuck, what a time! Like, there's no way I can't be excited about the future. Yeah.
I mean, it's super wild, like especially to see, because I remember when I came across like Cisco stuff, like in like 2020, I think super early on TikTok.
Yeah,
like all three of them.
Yeah,
when they were doing that like. This is called the last show ever or whatever.
Yeah.
At that bar.
Yep.
That was crazy.
Yeah, shout out to Jackson, man. He's still holding it down over there. Right, Jake? Yeah. That's that bar, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that bar is crazy.
That bar is insane.
And it's like, well, I still have to go. I wanted to go. I haven't checked out a show yet. I wanted to, but it's like, it's so crazy to see that because like when I had Coda on, Coda talked about throwing, his Flyboy stuff.
Yep, Flyboys.
Flyboy stuff at the at that bar that they were like we were underage, but we still had the bar. Like it's so crazy to like see that is still around. That like what is. I feel like what's the basis of like making music in New York City is still around.
Yeah.
But like.
It's needed.
Yeah, for sure.
It's what keeps it fresh, bro. And it's what keeps, even the ones that are inspired off it, and because they need some form of identity to latch onto, bro, to like, where do I start?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Respectfully, almost 25 years ago, that where do I start was gut wrenching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You either goddamn had CDs, you either had your vinyl, you either knew somebody hosting those great beat tapes, you either knew someone hosting those good mixtapes, bringing it to radio, and that was like a nerve and a half to strike.
Run into Bobito on the street and hope
like
to
stretch
pick a free,
and be like, yo, just, you know what I mean? Like, just, feel me? So nowadays to have it played out the way it is now and the way it's rolling, like I think it's good, bro. It's good.
And then I mean, look, even just to shout out On the Radar again, or like all the offshoots where whatever the one that Casual Bane went crazy on, what's the one that where it's like On the Block or some shit like that?
From the block.
From the block,
for shooters only.
For shooters only.
It's cool to have these different, tastemakers in a way that have created their own platforms, for the speakers, shout out Sound Fine. You know what I mean? Like there's so many dope platforms that have come out now giving so much light, you know what I mean? And I think what's cool, and obviously it's politics in them, bro. You know what I mean? Sure. You can't, that's just what it is. But at the end of the day,
politics and everything, bro.
Right. But at the end of the day, it's carrying on tradition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what we need the most. It's a lot of these people is doing it the right way and they not getting too reachy. Some of them is even their own communities checking them, bro, because they know that yo, we can't have you fucking up, bro.
Right, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? We need this shit. Like, they need this shit. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's also like the new blog era now, bro. Like, respectfully, you want to run press, bro? Like, you're probably having more visibility come from like paying like a sleeping on gems or some shit versus like getting a paper mag or Clash mag thing. I just keep it a stack.
Yeah. I mean, it makes more sense too, because it's just like, they already baked in whatever, how many millions of followers or subscribers, and you're just like, I just got to get on there.
Everything live on the gram these days too, bro.
For sure. Well, because we talked about On the Radar profusely, but like that first freestyle, what did that feel like?
I was fucking nervous, bro. Yeah. Nowadays, like, cause I be in the office, bro. Like, I got some new stuff coming up, man. Actually, me and Stoic got one coming out this weekend. Yeah. It's gonna be tough.
Again, where's the invite?
Yo, come. I
want to come.
You should come to the next one with me and Plain Pat.
Yeah,
we actually supposed to do that like next week. I actually need to call him and figure that out. Though, like, no.
Let me know.
The first one was so fucking. I was shy. I remember like my homegirl Annabelle. She pulled up with me, and then like I just invited all my friends, like my boy Bobby came with me. Who else? Like, feel like a couple. Like I had like 6 friends with me, gangster. And I remember I had to redo my shit. I like did it. It was all like, who's gonna be the guy that does it off the first take? Yeah, you know what I mean. And I was like, I'm gonna be the guy. And I was not the guy.
No,
I ended up being the guy that did it like 6-8 times to get it right. No, but now, bro, you know what I mean? You just go and sell that shit, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's
the job.
It is, but it's also just like, it's because I went in there one time for Sango. Sango did.
I fucking love Sango.
Yeah, bro. That's the homie. Right. And after his episode here, he took me there.
Oh, fire!
And so we went, and
that was recent.
Yeah, and that was December, I think it was.
Yeah,
something like that. And then we went. It was November. We went, and then there was like somebody pulled up and they were rapping, and like I didn't see like the first time I ever seen it like that, where it was just like outside of YouTube, where it's like all put together and stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah.
No, they have some.
It's like they got it down pat.
Bro, it's almost similar setup here. One camera right there, another right there, another right there, you know, and they probably got maybe like one of these fancy lights in there. But like when you go to like the engineer room, like, oh my God, computers everywhere, man. Gabe's fucking, you know, drinking the shit out of the Monster. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just like, yep, yeah, cool. You know what I mean? No, I love those guys, bro. That's family for sure.
Yeah. I mean, like recording something and then putting it on something that has like a million eyes off the bat always seems daunting.
It's all, you know, I mean, at first, you know, it's a little shook, but you gotta do your thing.
Yeah,
you gotta sail it, bro. You gotta sail it.
I mean, it's just like I want to see more stuff like that too, because I also feel like, you know, like give me like where it's just, you know, I want to see like people from like that are rapping like Billy Woods and more of that. Give me more of that.
I feel like they definitely did a good job, like giving more of that shine. You know, they had Common and come on and shit. You know what I mean? They
always reach back for sure.
Yeah. You know, they've had like a lot of great spitters on it. You know, even between me and you right now, I am working Mike for On the Radar right now.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm trying to get him.
Nice.
Like I'm trying to get him.
I need to be at that one.
You need to be at that one.
Give me that. Give me a there.
I'm trying to get him.
Yeah.
Not an easy one, but we're working on it. Yeah.
Get the feature and him on.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Double cup. You know what I mean? Like right there.
I mean, it's crazy. I think that like, you know, what you're doing right now is just like I said, like seeing your growth. And I mean, listen to Cocotaso. Like, what was your
project?
Yes.
Bro,
what was the inspiration, or like what kind of mind frame were you in order to record that? Because that album's fire. And if you haven't listened to it, please pause. Don't even pause it. Finish the podcast and then tap into Cocotaso.
That Cocotaso, man. Produced by my man Stoic. Mixed and mastered by myself, man. That was project we did around this time last year. It was actually Ramadan, and Stowe, the mentality I was in, I was just really fucking like, I was off like a fresh release with Dash that I produced. I remember Static hit me up that same day, DM me like, yo, sent me this. Threw it right there on Shade 45. He was bumping it. Like, you know what I mean? I remember Spanish Ran was like, hitting me up like, yo, this shit fire. I was feeling it, bro. So, you know, I was having so many wins. I was fresh off the On the Radar. At the same time, like, you know, I had like all these like, you know, like kids take over, like, you know what I mean? Underground sound, you know, for the speaker. Like, it was all posing me. Like, it was just like a lot of awareness on time was like, whoa. And then when people saw me and Stoic were now working on an album, that shifted things. Cause like Stoic got this lore of being this YouTube legend. Right. Like he really is, bro. He's uploaded these beats and he's kind of broken out some artists. Yeah. Like in a way, you know, like I know Lexa's kind of like got a crazy like song with him. I know that was like kind of an influence to like some of her success, you know, and there's like a bunch of like different other artists in the scene that just like have this affinity of like with his beats and shit. So when me and
his
him,
beats are crazy.
Oh, he's dope, man. Like, you know, he do that hip hop shit. That shit go. And it was so cool for me, like getting each session every week, you know, him keeping it you know, he kept it a buck with me, man. Like first session, he kept it a stack with me. He was like the way you be rapping, bro, you're not doing that on this one.
Oh yeah.
Like he kept it a buck, man. He kept it a stack. And, you know, it was one of my first times someone like said that to me bleakly like that. And, you know, Stowe also like, he was there in the writing a lot. Like I'll be rapping and be like, yo, like, what if you like said this? And I'll be like, oh shit. And, you know, it was one of my first times, and, you know, an artist and a producer actually got to really like, collaborate. And it was so cool because it just kept inspiring this victory mindset and then these new songs. And now it was so different from everything I was making before. The shift from Rule 44 to Cocotaso, bro, was like crazy. And at the same time, I just met Plain Pat that same month. And we started cooking up the LP that same month. And then at the same time, I was also redoing a whole album that I have like Jean Lennox and like Overcast and like some other cool homies on. So I was just in this super like, bro, fuck being number one. I gotta just be like, I gotta fucking take all my force, my energy and like just aim at the top. And I even that month, I remember April came, I dropped again. Opened up for Marlon Craft, the LPR. May came, dropped again. Opened up for Conway with Iman, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's fire,
and like, you know, then June, the project came out and like the shift was so based on me just like, I'm staying the course. You know, was I overwhelmed a lot? Yeah, bro, what the fuck? Like I'm over here trying to write like some really good music. And that's what it offset me to, was Stoic was like, I just want every song to be really good. Yeah. Like, I don't care what it is. Can this just be some, like, we need to make good songs. Yeah. Great music. And I think the thesis is, if you're going to think like that, then you know you have to deliver. You know you have to be strong. You know you have to trust your pen. You know you have to, you know, understand your value and your worth and all that. So you know you him. So you know how you're going to show up. And yeah, bro, that should change. Yeah, that project really definitely helped change like a lot of things for me, bro. Definitely it's still a wave right now. Like people still repost it.
Have you saying, oh my God?
Oh my God. Yeah, bro. That's one of my favorite joints to perform live.
That shit is fire, bro.
Yeah. Now, thank you so much, bro. Fucking
I'm about to run it back when on the way back.
Oh, you should, man. Me and Jake, we probably gonna do the same thing. Yeah.
But so I'm hit you with my last question after that. But yo, like I said, y'all got to listen to the album. I think that it's one of like my top albums from last year because I just thought you were gliding on that joint, bro.
No, it's definitely a special project, bro. Definitely one of those, like, through time, it's gonna cement. Like there's gonna be a motherfucker, bro, eventually, like, how the fuck, like, does this only have this many views? Yeah. Like, wow, this is the best shit in the world. Like,
it's gonna be Anthony Fantano.
Yo, probably. Yo, actually, I remember the Cocotaso release party at Loudmouth, he reposted the flyer. Oh, yeah? He actually reposted the flyer. And I remember he actually, I think he did my boy Tal, and he was like, yeah, like, going like, let's see what's up. I don't know if he came through that. I was mad late.
He's just in the back. He's not here yet. I'm out of here.
Yeah, he's probably in the cut. Probably. I don't know, man. You know what I mean? But yeah.
All right. So my last question, I always ask this every episode. It deals with a little visualization. I want you to go back to young Tom. You know, he's about to get those black cement threes, right? Now you're transported back in time. What would you tell your younger self as he opens that box?
I'm me Going back in time, what would I tell myself? Going back into that box. I would say, take your time, kid. Like, you know what I mean? I understand, you really want things badly because you're so joyous and so happy to be here. Take your time, because that light, little kid, like, you never want that like to be removed from you. That's what's gonna keep you moving. That's gonna keep you in the best feats, the best sneakers, but more that the best movement. You know what I mean? That's literally what I'll tell that kid, like, take your time, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Fucking dudes is becoming millionaires by fucking 40, 50, bro. Like, take your time, kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got all the pace in the world to, before you fly, you gotta fucking, run. Before you run, you gotta walk. Before you walk, you gotta crawl, man. Like, take your time.
Take your time.
You know what I mean? You're gonna have mad fun, bro. Don't overthink it. You know what I mean? Whatever. You gonna go to school, everybody gonna cut your ass saying they fake. When you gonna take your shoe off and be like, oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gonna show them, you know what I mean? Like, and you don't have to go off opinions, or you don't have to build anxiety off the judgment of others or people around you. Be your fucking self.
Yeah. Let everybody know where to find you, man.
Yo, man, y'all can find me, man. Lifeofthom, Lifeofthom, man. Everywhere, man. Yo, check me out on Law School. You know what I mean? Piff.
The Piff Tour.
We everywhere, man. 15
Piff
cities,
Tour.
man.
Yeah.
Come check us out, man.
I'll be there April 22nd.
Yeah, man.
I got it. My boys is performing right before y'all.
Yeah. Oh, word.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be there from 6 to like.
Oh, you going?
Yeah.
Damn, you gonna be in the building. But yeah, yo, 15 cities, man. We hand on the map, man. East, Midwest, West Coast. Tickets on sale right now. Come check the kid out. Direct support. Fucking here.
Yes, sir. You know where to find me. I am Who Is Haas on all social medias. Follow the podcast at My First Kicks Pod. If you've been listening to this is on YouTube. Go subscribe to the YouTube.
Click that, man.
YouTube.com/at My First Kicks. If you have a My First Kick story, hit me up.
Yeah.
Info at myfirstkicks.com. We got shirts. Shirts is coming out. Order a shirt.
Get that merch, man.
Yeah, sell. I'm trying to sell them out. And then buy some merch when you go see Tom.
Yeah, definitely bringing some merch on the road, y'all. Limited, exclusive things, you know what I mean? But yo, support us, man.
If you seen, I'll be rocking his merch.
He definitely do. I ain't gonna, y'all, I ain't gonna front. You definitely do, bro.
That shirt was fire, bro.
That shirt was fire. It was a good time for it to come out. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah. That shirt was fire. I was like, I got cop.
Yeah.
And you know what we say each week, man? Wear your kicks. Peace.